he doesn't know how to speak to or about foreign leaders, okay? Some of the things he said, and I really don't remember offhand. I wasn't taking notes, all right? You just can't do. When you talk about Europe, when you talk about, making France or Germany or Great Britain, pay their fair share in NATO and things of that nature. Well, what are you going to do if they don't? What if they say they can't afford it?
Then they pull out of NATO.
You can't.
Nobody, listen, the bottom line is, you put your foot down. They all need the United States and NATO.
You're right, they do.
All right?
But how can you say that if they don't start paying their fair share, they can get out?
Why not?
Because you have to learn to work together.
Yeah, but shouldn't they be paying their fair share?
But you don't throw them out. You don't tell them to leave.
Don't they have to pay their fair share?
It would be nice. Look, the U.S. always...
Well, if you don't really want to pay your fair share, you can stay anyway.
You see, it's not only Obama. Presidents in the past have always given these countries more or less a free pass, when it came to paying their fair share.
Germany, very rich country. France snubs us all the time. Those countries should, but yet they want our protection. They want our protection. They should.
Well, it's very true. They do, yes.
Then they have to pay a little bit for it. He did say he wanted to put the missiles back in Poland, which is a good idea. The anti-missile missiles.
Oh, defensive. The ones pointing toward Russia?
Yeah, defensive missiles, not offensive. No, they can't do anything but shoot down another missile that's coming at you.
Right.
He wants to do that, which was good.
But you see, a lot of the things, all right, this was not a talk on, minorities and women, et cetera, et cetera.
Well,
but how can he walk back a lot of the things that he's already said about women and
this has nothing to do with women. This was
I know this was not about women or minorities or his economic plan per se. This was foreign policy.
Okay.
But the bottom line is...
Are we done talking about foreign policy? Is that what you're telling me?
No, what I'm saying is, how can he eventually, if he decides to give a talk on it, walk back some of the things that he has already said about women and about minorities?
Yeah, but what does that have to do with this foreign policy?
I said it doesn't have anything to do with it.
That's why I asked you. We're done talking about the foreign policy. I'm not understanding. You brought in all of a sudden something else completely than what we were talking about. So I'm just...
All I'm doing is saying that he's trying to walk back things that he said.
What?
Okay, and explain them in greater detail. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, well, then if that's the case, how can he walk back some of the things that he has already said about other things?
Like what? He said he loves women. He loves black people.
No, that's what he says.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Okay.
But when he talks about he'd be the greatest thing for women, yet, he's got a thing about
he likes
strong females with authority. He's got a thing about strong females with authority. He's got to be the alpha male, okay, and he has no room for,
Well, they say a lot of his executives are women. He's still the boss, though, but...
all right, take what you just said. He's the boss. He said he's going to bring back enhanced the waterboarding, okay?
Enhanced interrogation.
And Comey, who's the head of the FBI, and Brennan, who's in charge of the CIA, have already said that generals have told them that there is no way they are going to issue the order to waterboard or do anything else that is considered illegal. All right.
Well, we don't.
And what's Trump's answer to that? I'm the president. They have to. I'll replace him.
Okay. Well, he's
that's the
right.
argument.
He's absolutely right. Forget about anything else. If the president of the United States gives an order and you disobey it, what is that?
You have to.
I'm just asking, what is that?
No, you have to look at the morality behind it.
But I just asked you a question. They say when that happens, you have to
look what happened to Cali and My Lai. He was given an order. He killed a whole town. Women, children, men, women. All right? He followed orders. And what happened? The government brought him up on charges. The order had to come from somebody. Okay? It had to come from some general. But his head didn't roll, did it?
You sure it came from a general?
Oh, come on, Rev. Get with the program. The ones who give the orders, the guys on top, the president, I mean, George W. Bush did a lot of things. Nixon, with Watergate, did he spend one day in jail? But Haldeman and Ehrlichman and all those guys,
well, you got to
remember, they were all found guilty and spent time in jail.
But also Nixon.
Yeah, he was pardoned by Gerald Ford.
Exactly.
Why? Because, first of all, Gerald Ford was an appointed vice president, and Gerald Ford said, I want to put this national nightmare behind us. Nixon should have gone to jail.
Also, you got to remember, Nixon was not part of Watergate.
He
was there only afterwards.
What are you talking about? This happened during his first presidency.
You're not following what I'm saying. Originally, he didn't know anything about it.
That's not true. None of these guys acted without being told what to do. Believe me. Nixon wanted to guarantee a second term. That's why you had the plumbers and you had the break-in and the leaking of Ellsworth's papers, all of this stuff. Nixon was behind it. And what does he say? He says the people have to know that their president is not a crook. Damn straight he was a crook. And everybody took the blame so that he wouldn't have to go to jail. Come on, Felix.
No, they say that with Watergate, and I was watching a documentary. He didn't know anything about it, but when he found out, he tried to hide everything.
Look.
That's what. If anybody else heard that, ladies and gentlemen, please give me a call. I don't want to argue with Marc, but I saw a documentary on it, and they said there wasn't.
I'll give Nixon credit for one thing. He opened up the lines of communication between this country and China, which for many years, it was like China never existed.
Yeah.
Okay, but as far as Watergate. And then destroying the tapes.
I'm not destroying the tapes. I'm not disagreeing about it. He did. He tried to hide all the evidence, but he didn't give the original order. There's a difference. That was what they were talking about.
Hey, listen, and I'll be the first to, say, look, LBJ had many good social policies, social programs.
And he also used to run around the White House naked.
Well, that too. And what did he do? He believed Westmoreland and his generals when they said Vietnam is winnable. He believed McNamara, and he sent over 500,000 young men to go fight in a place that they had no business being, and at least 55,000 that we know of are dead, and how many are wounded, and for what? Now people go to Vietnam on vacation. Okay?
They go to Japan on vacation, Germany on vacation.
I realize that. I know. But you see, Vietnam did not attack us. Japan attacked us. Germany attacked our allies, and we were sworn to help England and France when they were attacked. That's why, and the only reason we got into the war eventually was because Japan allied itself with Germany, and Japan attacked Hawaii and Pearl Harbor. So you know, by the way, that's another thing that people are worried about with Trump. During World War II, at least the early stages, United States practiced isolationism. They didn't want to get involved. They heard things that were going on in Germany, but that doesn't concern us. It wasn't until Pearl Harbor was bombed that they had no choice but to go and enter the war. Okay? What people are worried about with Trump is when he says, you know, our allies have to learn that we're not always going to be there when they want us. We're not the world's policemen, which I understand, okay? But when European leaders hear this, they worry.
Yeah,
When he says, when Trump says, well, you know, we got to keep ISIS guessing, but he also keeps the allies guessing too. What's he going to do?
And he also said he supports Israel 100%.
That I understand. Well, he better. He's got a son-in-law who's Jewish and his daughter converted. His favorite daughter who, I mean, listen, there's got to be something wrong there. The way he talks about Ivanka, okay, I mean, that's not normal.
You always say that. And I have no
You
idea
love
what
your
you're
daughter,
talking
don't
about.
you?
Yeah, I have
But
no
you
idea.
wouldn't talk about your daughter the way he talks
I
about
have no
Ivanka.
idea how he talks about her. I really don't. I don't know. I'm sorry. I never heard him talk. Don't look at me like that.
No,
I never heard him talk about her.
It's just very strange. Let's put
I've
it that
never
way.
heard him talk about her. What did he say about her?
Offhand, I don't know.
Just
But you know me, I like to ramble on.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I wish I knew what you were talking about. That's all. There's nothing. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I just never heard him
You
talk.
put her on a $10 bill.
Hmm?
Put her on a $10 bill. What the hell has she ever done except be his daughter?
Who said to put her on?
That's what he said. When they asked it in the first debate, who would you put on? This is before they came up with Harriet Tubman. You know, on a 20.
Yeah.
Who would you put on or 10? I don't know. Wherever Jackson is. Let me see. Is this Jackson? Let's take a look. No, this is Hamilton. So it's a $20 bill. The bottom line, and if you know,
He
think
said
about
Ivana Trump. So what?
no, think about Ivanka.
I'm not
Ivana is his first wife.
Yeah, I know. I said never mind.
But think about this: his son is the number 2 in his company. So basically, while he's running, even though Donald has final say, his son is running the company. Why didn't he make Ivanka CEO or second in command?
Because his son was good at it.
But he doesn't talk about his son the way he talks about his daughter.
He talks a lot about Donald. Which one are you talking about, Donald or Eric?
Donald Jr. He's the one running, the company.
He talks a lot about him. When I hear, did you see that interview? He had his whole family there.
I notice he doesn't talk about you. I would be very upset.
I'm his secret weapon.
Oh, you are? Okay. All right, granted. I'll give you that. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who would like to call in, we've been on for about close to 30 minutes. Our number here is 516-336-8510. Unlike the Rev, I don't have it in front of me. I have to try to remember it.
I don't have it in front of me neither. 516-336-8510.
Very good.
I've been pulling your leg the whole time, Charlie.
What can I say?
Hey, guess what? I'm probably going to forget it in about 2 seconds. What number?
But it was, I mean, look, can't take it away from him that Donald won all 5 states on Tuesday. His lead is piling up. In fact, they're even saying that he may be the presumptive. He may have the 1,237 delegates necessary when they come into Cleveland without anything more than a first ballot.
He's over 1,000 right now.
Well,
I think he's 1,002 right now.
Well, and then after that foreign policy speech, what was he doing? He was in Indiana, and he was the Trump of old.
Yeah, well, he said.
But you see, where they're wrong. When he talks about Hillary, he says Hillary is an enabler. All right, Hillary's running for president. Has nothing to